In today's bonus episode, I'm sitting down with a friend to discuss the Times article on Ballerina Farm. You guys know on this podcast that I love to distinguish between culture and doctrine and also talk about how we are misrepresented online, and people are really running wild with this article. Does God really believe that women are supposed to stay in the home, or that husbands are supposed to be rulers of the house and their wives submissive to them? Let's talk about it in today's episode. Welcome to Blonde Apologist. All right, you guys, welcome to a new episode of Blonde Apologist. I have a special guest with me today.
Thanks.
Maddie Swenson is with
Maddie
us.
Swenson.
But you guys all know her as Mads Tans.
I think people have forgotten that I have a real name at this point. So
Well, one of your friends texts me and she says Mads Tans is coming on your podcast.
yes.
And I'm like, you call her Mads Tans?
Yeah, no, I have people call me that in public.
That
They're like,
is
Matt
so-
Stans. And I'm like, my name's Maddie, but that's okay. Yeah.
No, Maddie's wonderful. She started texting me about the Ballerina Farm stuff. And I'm like, come sit down with me and let's talk about it because I have all the thoughts.
For sure. I'm so excited.
No, I'm so excited. But before we get into it, I am going to do a quick plug-in for Mads Tans.
Yes.
If you need to look glowy, gorgeous, bronzed, and tan for a special event, a vacation, maybe you're pregnant. I go all the time when I'm pregnant.
I tan so many pregnant girls.
Yes. When you feel insecure, you don't feel great about your body, you get that tan, the confidence boost.
Period. Anybody, even guys. Come on.
Yes. And Maddie said she'll give you $5 off if you mention Blonde Apologist. So
Yep.
go get your tans. She's in Orem. If you anywhere in Utah County, it is worth the drive, I promise. Okay, so we're talking about Ballerina Farm today. Mm-hmm. And if you don't know, you're not on TikTok then because it's all over TikTok.
I feel like even on the news and stuff, I feel like it's just blown up.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
So just a quick summary of who she is. Hannah Neelman?
Neelman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hannah Neelman, she is a member of our faith. She lives in Camas?
Yeah, Camas. I think she's originally from Springville.
Okay. So
Yeah.
and they have a beautiful farm.
Yeah, they basically do like sell their meats, they sell their dairy, they sell wood stuff, they sell it all.
And she's been creating content on social media for years, just showing the growth of their farm and their family. And she's accumulated millions and millions of followers.
And millions of kids. She has 8 kids.
Yes, she really has. And she's popping the ice where she's always pregnant. Poor
Oh
thing.
my gosh.
But she's awesome. People love her. She's kind of known to be the Tradwife for America, the traditional wife.
Yeah, I think she definitely brought it to the surface. We'll get into the article, but they talk about Nara Smith too. And just like all the trad wife. My husband was like, what is that? And I was like, just traditional wife. He's like, that's so dumb that they have like a label now.
They have a label. And it's so funny because like Nara and Hannah are both members of our faith.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I would say they're actually not traditional wives because they are making so much freaking money and are full businesswomen.
Yeah,
So the irony.
It's just weird because I think just because they are homemakers that it's hard for people to think that they could also have like success and stuff. I feel like that's just our day and age where people just kind of label somebody as one thing and then that's what they are.
And that's that's so true. But yeah, the reason why we're talking about it on this podcast is because you guys know that I love to take things that are misrepresentation of our church and fix it. And boy, on social media, like this has been so crazy misunderstood and miscued.
Misconstrued and just like I think as not even just like being pro LDS or like defending the church, I think just like defending women as a whole and not even coming from like a feminist point of view, being just like I feel like we're in this day and age where women are the worst enemy to women. Like it's 100. Just terrible. I feel like I've never labeled myself as like a feminist, and I think just how passionate I've been just about this article, I feel like protective in the sense of I don't understand if we're supposed to be so in this like boss babe era, like motivating people like women should be independent and all this stuff. And now we're bashing this woman for being something that she wants to be. Yeah. It's just mind boggling.
No, I think it's really messed up. And it's sad that people can't do both. Why can't we just support whatever that dream is for that woman?
Why do we have to care?
I know.
That's the thing.
Let people live their lives.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was texting Maddie last night. I'm like, people are going to see a different side of me today because I am mad.
It's like infuriating. We'll get into this too, but the TikToks about like the Greece trip and everything that I've been seeing, it's so, like that's not even the point of the article. Like people are so bizarre to me.
Yes. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the article. So Hannah sat down with the Times. Rookie mistake. I'm just gonna say it.
Rookie mistake. We were talking. Yeah, we were talking beforehand about how she made a TikTok prior, like saying she was so excited. Like she did a vlog of her day.
She was like, get ready with me.
I'm so excited for the Times to come in. They're gonna talk about my family and about what we do here on the farm. I think that's exactly what she wanted the article to be, is like how much good they're doing on the farm. Yeah. And of course this woman had to come in and just derail her.
I know. The assumptions that were made in this article are wild, and this journalist definitely came in with an agenda. And anyone who needs to read this article, like thinking 100%. That way, like, okay, what is this bias that she's trying to make me understand? Because I'm seeing right through it.
You can clearly see in the article how she misconstrues everything that's being said to her. We'll get into it, but like when Daniel leaves like the room and stuff, she's like, and then she lowered her voice. Like it's just like the narrative and like the over like explaining it and kind of giving it more life to it than it has is like what's making fuel to the fire. Yeah.
So they talk about her experience with going into the pageants after having her baby. So this is when Hannah gained a lot of fame this year.
100%.
She had a baby in January, I think.
6 months ago, yeah.
She had a baby in January, and within 2 weeks, she was at
pageant ready.
Yeah, at Miss Universe in Las Vegas because she won Mrs. America. Yeah. So she went there representing America, and the pageant happened to be 2 weeks after having the baby. Hannah knew this, and she talked about how her whole pregnancy she was prepping. She was trying to stay in shape and like take lots of supplements to like keep her energies high so that when this baby came out, she could turn around and go to a pageant.
Exactly.
Good for her.
I just think it's so crazy, like, that this is what we're bashing her for. I wrote, like, in my notes, it was like we villainized her and then now we're victimizing her. Like, it's all, like, over the place.
You're spot on.
Like, it's just, like, I don't understand why then we're bashing her. Oh, she's setting unrealistic expectations for women. Sorry, I just hit the mic. She's setting unrealistic expectations for women.
Yes,
and
people were pissed.
Like, people were pissed. And there are women that do CrossFit and work out their entire pregnancies, don't eat any junk food, bounce back super fast. And just because this woman's on social media, like, we're going to bash her for this.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
No, and like if that's what Hannah wants to do, like that's great for her. Absolutely not my thing. Like
not my thing.
I am
could never
in bed.
Be me. Yeah.
Yeah. Postpartum, I am a disaster. And I know Hannah was probably really going through it. And it's so annoying. I'm going to just read this quote from the article. She says, was this the ultimate act of empowerment? Neelman doing what she wanted, or the ultimate demonstration of oppression? Her tender body encased in spiky sequins. Neelman, whether she liked it or not, was declared leader of the new controversial group, Tradwives. Okay, I hate where she's like, was this an act of empowerment or was it oppression? Where like she had to get out there and show off her body.
The oppression theme throughout this article is absolutely crazy. I can't. No, you'll see like throughout the article, she describes Hannah any chance she gets as like perfectly pretty and like golden hair and all this stuff. Like Hannah's just not Hannah. Like she has to create this narrative that she's like this perfect princess that like is achieving and overachieving and becoming like unattainable for women. I don't understand why we can't just let her live. Like
I know, like that's so like that. I'm sorry, Hannah. She's in beauty pageants because she's beautiful. Like that's
And that's what she wants to do.
Totally.
Like, I don't understand. Like, she grew up dancing. She grew up wanting to be like this beautiful ballerina. What is so harmful in her in doing a pageant that she wants to do?
Well, and she even said, like, her sister reached out to her and was like, let's go do this. Like, let's do this for you.
Yeah.
And if you followed Hannah during that time, that you could tell, like, it was a sacred experience for her.
Yeah.
Because, like, she's in a very vulnerable time of her life. She's nursing this newborn baby. She brings this newborn baby to Vegas. Her dad was literally dying. Did you follow her during this time?
Yes.
Literally dying. And it became such a spiritual thing that, like, he got to be there to watch her perform one last time. He passed away shortly afterwards. Yeah. And it's like, that was, I just know that was a sacred experience that I know she does not regret. Yet we're going to spin it as if, like, oh yeah, she was oppressed. And, like, I can't believe they made her do that.
Anything that women do regardless that is against another woman's perspective, like Kim Kardashian, like, she's going to go bounce back and she's going to be this boss woman and not neglect her kids, but her kids have childcare and all this stuff, and she's going to go and work and, like, do skims and do work for hours on end. And then Hannah, she goes and does this pageant and brings all her kids, like, makes the kids a part of it. Like, that's still not enough.
Totally.
It's just, I don't know.
Women are never measuring up. Oh, man. Okay, wait, this one's funny. This one made me laugh because tell me you don't know anything about my faith without telling me you don't know anything about my faith. She says, a devout Mormon who was raised in a Mormon family, she bakes perfect scored sourdough loaves, milk cows straight into her coffee cup, and gives birth by candlelight with no pain relief. I'm sorry, puts cow's milk in her coffee cup?
No, like, woman, come on.
I'm like, I read that, I'm like, you know nothing about my faith.
You
like,
know nothing, girl.
You're
like,
losing credibility.
Her coffee cup? Question mark? Are you sure? Yeah, and I highlighted, like, after all of that, she said she will not leave Neelman's chest for the 4 hours we are together, talking about her baby.
Yeah.
I just don't understand what this woman expected. She expected this traditional housewife, this mother of 8, to just, like, devote this time to this wench of a woman. Who's going to, like, literally make her character and everything seem something that it's not.
Yeah.
And, like, derail her husband, derail her kids, like, all of this. I don't understand how this all came about into this one article.
Yeah, no, this girl was offended that she didn't ever get one-on-one time, and she spins it as if they didn't let me talk to Hannah.
But then she's talking about being Mormon and being this traditional housewife. It's like, you're such, like, a hypocrite. I don't understand.
Yeah. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about their courting and, like, how he, like, got on the plane.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
She starts talking about how Hannah and David met and how they, like, started dating. She says he was 23 and she was nearly 2 years his junior.
Which I don't understand, because then she says that Hannah is 34 and he's 35. So what do you mean? Like, 2 years his junior. All right.
But also, like, what? Don't act like that's weird.
Don't act like that's weird. First of all, my husband is 23 and I'm 24, about to turn 25. So if we're going to talk about weird, let's talk about cougars. I think that's weirder.
Well, I'm like, my husband and I are 4 years apart. I'm 4 years younger than him.
My mom and dad are like 6 years apart, and my mom is older. Like, I don't understand. Like, people are so crazy.
So first she starts there, weird. And then she says that when he saw her, he says, I saw her and I was ready to go. Sign me up is what I was thinking. Let's get married. But they wouldn't date for about 6 months. That's cute. Of course. Okay. Love at first sight. He was eager. Who doesn't feel that when they see their first love?
Who doesn't feel that? And also, what is so frustrating about this entire narrative is that this reporter acts as if this woman, Hannah, does not have any agency in her life. She's just this silly little girl, just bound to her faith, bound to her parents, bound to her husband, bound to her kids. She has no free will, no choices made of her own.
Yeah.
And so many TikToks that I've seen kind of trying to relate to Hannah's experience, being like, I was a tradwife. I was a part of a household that had a tradwife.
Yep.
Saying that, like, she had no choices. I had no choices. All this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Agency is never taken away from you by anybody.
Yep.
Even if you are brainwashed and all, you still have in the back of your head, whether it's in your heart, wherever it is, like you still have that agency. And I feel like Hannah comes from such a great family. I don't think that her family would have let her do something if it was such a terrible thing for her.
Well, and I've seen a lot of those videos too, which is what really gets me fired up. It's like, of course I feel a little bit of like justice for Hannah, but what I'm more upset about is people spinning this as if the Mormon faith forces women to not have agency, forces them to submit to their to their husband and to be in the house. And it's like, you could not be more wrong. It's sorry, but like that is a complete misunderstanding of our teachings. And like, I even called my mom on this because I watched this woman's video where she's like, I was Mormon. I was the Tradwife Mormon.
No, I saw that. She has brunette hair.
Yeah. And she's like, and if you would have asked me if I was making my own choices in the moment, I would have said yes. But like looking back, like I was not allowed to make my own choices. So, and she was like, I was told not to get an education. I was told to stay in the home. So I call my mom, who is 60 years old, and I'm like, okay, my mother is one of the most faithful people that I know in my life. And I know that my mom went to school, got her accountant degree, and worked until she had 4 children. So in the back of my head, I'm like, Mom, you're the one of those faithful people that I know, yet you believed that you could go get an education, that you could go work. Where did you get that from? And why was there a disconnect like with other women in your generation? And she was like, the church always has encouraged women to get educated. Like, people can spin whatever culture that they want to. Maybe their husbands, maybe they had people in their lives telling them that they couldn't do it. That sucks for them. But like, don't act like that the church was doing that to you.
Yeah. And I don't understand. They're the ones victimizing these women and making it seem that if Daniel was actually like, no, you can't ever go back to school. Like, this is it. Like, or I'm leaving you. Yep. Hannah had a choice to say, you know what, I don't think I'm ready for this. Like, if you're still around after a year, I'm done having done school, like we'll get married and we'll do this. But if you're not, like, that's just not meant to be. And I guarantee you that probably went through her head. Like, she made the choice.
She did dance for many years, like even after having
kids. 3 kids.
Yes. Yeah. So it's like, I would argue that she did pursue the dream that she wanted to. And you know what? If this journalist was a good journalist, she would have asked the question, do you regret the path that you took? Because Hannah did talk about in the article that she says like, oh, I was going to be a ballerina. Like, this wasn't my plan.
Yeah.
Well, no, duh. When I was 18 years old, my plans look very different than my dreams now as a mother and a wife. And so, yeah, if this was a good journalist, she would have asked that question. But you know why she didn't? Is because she knew the answer. Hannah does not regret the life that she has.
No, not at all. And the stalker narrative that this like reporter also brought to it, where like she was saying, then he bought a ticket for the same flight, all this stuff. First of all, if you listen to the toast, you kind of heard this, but like, it would have been cute if it was any other circumstance.
No, I thought it was cute when I read it even the first time.
I don't even think it's weird. Like, people are so messed up.
Yeah, let's just read that. And you guys tell us if you think it's weird. This is what she says. One day, Hannah mentioned to Daniel that she was getting a 5-hour flight from Salt Lake to New York, back to Juilliard. She didn't realize his dad owned the airline, so Daniel was like, I'm on the same flight. She says, I remember checking in and them saying, you're in seat 5A and you're in seat 5B. I just thought, no way, that's crazy. Daniel smiles and says, I made a call. He pulled some strings at JetBlue, and that's how they began their first date. Are you kidding me?
Why is that weird?
No, that is so freaking cute.
And then like saying, oh, Hannah thought they were going to get like married in a year and like wait and stuff. And it's like, no, Daniel said, no, we have to get married in a month or whatever. I'm like, this poor husband, like, justice for Daniel. Like, honestly, like, you know what? He might be insufferable. He might be totally annoying. And you know what? Whose husband isn't annoying at times? Like, I just don't understand. Like, you know what? First of all, if this is true, if my husband did talk to me like that, I would say, yeah, he's a moron.
Yeah.
But I don't think the way that this is being depicted is what is the truth.
Yeah. Okay.
She's adding fluff into it.
No, I saved a video and I'm just going to play this recording for you guys. It is Daniel sitting down with Ballerina Farm.
The Q&A.
Yes, the Q&A that they did like a year ago. I don't know when they did it. But listen to what Daniel says. Okay, it's just so evident like people are hearing what they want to hear, because these are his own words. This is not spun. This is not said in any way. This is just him being honest, okay?
And for me, like, my main responsibility, we're raising the animals, we're taking care of the ranch. I really feel strongly that I have to, support Hannah, and, we have a lot of kids. I can't expect her to take care of the kids all day and also produce the content that she wants to produce as an artist. And so I just have always felt that if I take care of her needs and what she needs, that she can produce her content, and honestly, the business side takes care of itself.
And like, if we're talking about church, like, that is the church, like women and husbands like supporting each other, not the other way around. It sounds like these people and like the audience of like negative people are wanting Hannah to just like disregard the life that she's made and go and live her life. Like, this stupid trip to Greece. Like, I can't. I quite literally can't.
You got to tell people what that is about.
So basically, she wanted apparently a trip to Greece for her birthday. And there's this whole video about it. I don't know if she posted it or someone else posted it, but the gift that Daniel gives her is an egg apron. And people are so unbelievably upset. If you go on to any comment of like any of the videos, they're like, get her the trip to Greece. She deserves a trip to Greece. First of all, no matter if somebody's a billionaire, a millionaire, has $5 to their name, like, you don't know the circumstance. Like, you don't know what's going on. That might be something that they have to discuss. Like, they have 8 kids. They have all this stuff. And you know what? Maybe there isn't a chance for them to go to Greece. They have stuff coming up. And I would say stuff like that to my husband all the time. Like, I hope it's this. Like, I hope it's this.
Totally.
And people are
those pipe dream things where it's like, one day we'll sit down and we'll do this. But it's like.
And people are like, he's a billionaire. He should get her that. I thought we were in a world where like money doesn't matter. Like, I thought people are so materialistic. People need to stop flaunting their money, all this stuff. And so when somebody doesn't and gives them like a wholesome gift, like, now we're mad.
I would agree. It was a wholesome gift. Like, he got it from Europe. It was some kind of inside joke that she wanted something for the eggs. And people are like so pissed. I'm like, listen, if your husband is good at giving gifts, congratulations.
And it's one gift. Did you see the other? Maybe she got something else later, like in private, something that they didn't want to post for everyone to see, like.
No, I'm at the point in my marriage where I literally just send links to my husband of the things that I want, because it's like.
And you know what? I still don't get the stuff that I want. He like forgets or messes up. I don't understand.
But I love my husband, and I'm not in this horrible, like, oppressive relationship. Like, no. I don't know. People, I really honestly think majority of the people who are spinning this are not in serious relationships, are not married, and they definitely do not have kids.
Or they were married and had a terrible divorce. And you know what? I'm so sorry. Like, I truly feel for you. I've had friends go through that, family members go through that. My husband and I have gone through our own trials and tribulations. Like, I can't even imagine going through something like that. But it goes hand in hand with any of, like, church culture or marital culture, anything where you leave something that is no longer serving you and now you're going to make it somebody else's nightmare. I don't understand.
Yeah, and we all are guilty of doing that, because you know what, I'm looking at this and I'm putting my experience on it too. Like, I'm saying, like, you know what, if my husband and I sat down with someone to interview, like, they could totally spin whatever came out of my husband's mouth, or like whatever that experience was, and I'm happy and I'm in a good place. So I'm like, maybe I'm like convinced that Hannah's happy. I also can't make assumptions of what's going on. I think none of us should be making assumptions, but I think a lot of people are unhappy in their marriages or unhappy in their relationships, haven't had that, and so they are pushing that experience. That's what we all do. We all 100%. Do that.
100%. I agree. And like, if we're talking about like on the toast, Claudia said, like, I'm the Daniel, like she was referring herself as the Daniel in the relationship. And you know what? I'm the Daniel as well. Like, I'll put it here first. Like, if we're going back to when my husband and I first got married, if you want to talk about weird and crazy marriage stories, like, my husband and I, we met on Mutual, which is like a Mormon dating app. We were boyfriend and girlfriend. After a week of dating, we were engaged a month later. Like, we had only...
You are freaky. I did not know that about you.
Yeah, we met and got engaged a month later. We were married So met, dated, got engaged, married in 4 months. So if you want to talk about weird and Mormon, like, go right ahead. And first of all, I'm a convert, so that's even weirder. My family was like, what is going on?
Yeah, they're like stressed.
And just all of that, like, and getting married so fast. Like, Hannah got married fast, Daniel, they both got married fast. And when you get married that fast, like, you're going to learn so much about somebody. And you know what? Somebody's way of marriage may not be yours, but doesn't mean it's oppressive or abusive. Like, it works for them. And if Hannah wants to be not submissive, but more of like a traditional wife, like everyone is saying, then like that's her truth. Like, I don't understand. Like, I feel like I'm that way with my husband now. Maybe not in the beginning. Like, I didn't see that for myself, but now I feel like what I want as my future and my family, like, that works for me. Like, the traditional roles of a husband and wife, like, yeah, I have my business and stuff, but if we're talking about the roots of a family, I wholeheartedly agree with how they have their family. I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah. It made me think of, like, again, you know, I love distinguishing the culture from the doctrine on this podcast. And we do have a culture. I would not argue that there is a culture where more traditional wives in the church, right? Yeah. But what I love is, if we're going to get into the doctrine, I'm just going to read a little piece from the Family Proclamation real quick. Okay, it says, in our sacred responsibilities, fathers and mothers are obligated to help one another as equal partners. That's the one line that I wanted to share.
And that's what Daniel literally says in this article. I do not understand this woman's motive. Like, she literally said that.
Yeah, let's get to that quote. She asks, like, are you the head of the house?
And he's like, no, like, it's like we do equal parts.
Yeah.
And that's what Hannah grew up with, is like having a mother and father that like did equal work.
Yep.
Because do they own like Wright Flour Company?
Yeah, they own the flour company.
So I just think that that's a testament of him wanting this as a life together and not something that he rules.
Yes, and she said we are co-owners of the businesses too.
And then people are so nutty, and then going on TikTok, did you see this? They like went and found, I don't know if it was like the LLC or what, and apparently Daniel's name is the only one on it. Obviously, like, it might have been Daniel's money that got them started, and that's maybe why that they're on there, but I just think people read too much into things.
They have multiple businesses. Let's not act like they only have one business.
Her Instagram is a full business in and of itself. Her TikTok is a full business. I don't understand. Yeah.
Yeah, and she owns all of the rights to all of the things that she's created. So, no, it's silly. And, yeah, the journalist literally asked them, like, are you the head of the house? And he's like, no, like, we are partners. And that's what we believe in the church. So if that's not happening in your house, or if that didn't happen growing up, that is a misconception of the doctrine. 100%. So let's make that so freaking clear.
I just think that, like, someone's agency, like someone's way of life isn't for somebody else to judge, especially if it's burned you so badly. Like, I think that's like the main issue on TikTok right now is like the post Tradwives, or like the post ex-Mormons, all that stuff. It's those people that are coming to battle for her when that's not even something that she's interested in. Like, she's not interested in leaving her faith. She's not interested in not being a Tradwife.
Yep.
Like, this is something that she built for herself. And I just think that this has been wildly misconstrued.
Why is it so hard for people to understand that, like, people are happy doing what you're not doing, like doing their own thing? It makes no sense to me. Like, it's so easy for me to step back and be like, yeah, I choose the life that I do because I love it. And I have no problem accepting and respecting my friends who are making completely different choices that I have.
100%.
Even my friends who have left the church. I am, like, respectful of, like, I believe you are doing what you want to do to make you happy. And I hope you're living a fulfilled life.
And living your truth.
Yes.
Like, that's great. And I think that, honestly, like, you touched this, like, on this in, like, your garment episode, but I've been seeing so many videos of people making fun of the girls who have been posting, like, modest OOTDs, and they're making their own videos and, like, being like, I don't know what garments they're wearing, but this is the garments that I'm wearing because my garments go to my knees, but hers must, like, be extra, extra, extra small.
Oh, gosh.
And just, like, being so evil about it. I don't understand how that's bringing them more happiness and how that's making them live a better life and how that's detaching themselves from a life that hurt them so badly. Or like people posting like, this isn't for my garment girlies. First of all, you don't have to say that. If you just want to like post your outfit and be cute, like go ahead. Like, I just think no matter what, we're all women versus women these days. Like it's not us coming together and like lifting each other up. It's just tearing everyone's happiness down, and I don't understand that.
Yeah, for me, my opinion is that these are people who are not happy in their own lives. Like that's honestly how I've chalked it all up, and that's why I am not affected by the negativity that I get on social media, because I'm like, honestly, you're going through something. Like if this is what makes you feel better about yourself, you can totally take it out on me, because I do not care.
I don't understand making your whole personality something that's hurt you so badly. It's just,
But I know they would be like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's like, if you're so happy.
Satan's whole motive is to make people miserable like himself. And we just see it prominent on social media today.
100%.
Like, that's, you literally, any viral video, you go to the comment section, it could be the most innocent, beautiful video. People are psycho.
They're so psycho. And they even, like, the reporter had to bring Nora Smith into all of this and like bring her down.
Oh, I know her one comment about her voice.
Oh, I was out. This is what she says. She goes, one of the most influential Tradwives is Nora Smith, a 22-year-old Mormon model, 4 million Instagram followers, who talks in a voice so soft she sounds as though she has been brainwashed by a cult and is constantly pregnant and draining something fermented through muslin. What? Like, first of all, she made a choice to get pregnant. Like, why are they making something so sacred and beautiful something like so disgusting? Like,
but like literally attacking her voice and saying that it sounds
it's brainwashed by a cult. So now she's bringing in the cult factor too. I can't.
People are so freaking annoying.
I don't understand. Like, obviously this woman wanted to make Tradwife, whatever, culture seem as though it's something that's so oppressed by men.
Yeah.
And it's just,
we are all free to live the life that we want to.
100%.
That has always been God's plan. And I understand there are cultural things that we see in the church. It's cultural for you to date quick and get married young. And there are consequences if you don't do your due diligence and like marry the right person. So culturally, I don't want to push my children to get married young.
Yeah.
I want them to find the right person who will be a partner and equal with them. I even pulled up some quotes because I'm so frustrated with people saying like, you're not allowed to get educated. You're not allowed to work as a woman. So I pulled up some quotes.
Yeah, exactly. Please do.
Shall I share some of
what
the prophets have said from the beginning of time? Listen to this quote. This is my favorite one. Brigham Young, 1869.
People are going to have a heyday about Brigham Young.
Yeah, he's practicing polygamy at this time, okay?
Just to get it out there.
In 1869, this is what he said. We have sisters here who would make just as good mathematicians or accountants as any man. And we think they ought to have the privilege to study these branches of knowledge, that they may develop the powers with which they are endowed. We believe that women are useful not only to sweep houses, wash dishes, make beds, and raise babies, but that they should stand behind the counter, study law or physics, and become good bookkeepers, and be able to do the business in any counting house. And all this to enlarge their sphere of usefulness for the benefit of society in large. In following these things, they but answered the design of their creation. These and many more things of equal utility are incorporated in our religion, and we believe in and try to practice them.
I can't. And if we're talking about spiritual and everything, like obviously I'm not going to share my whole patriarchal blessing, but there's a big chunk in there that talks about how I need to be educated for this specific thing and this specific thing. There's a whole chunk of it that talks about me being educated and getting education and like furthering my education about all these different things. I don't think that the church ever has ill will. There are so many things that the church promotes for women and wants women to succeed.
I do not want to hear another person say that, like, you are not supposed to get educated or that you're not supposed to stay in the home as a woman. I do not want to hear it.
I can't.
And you're right. There has been, in the past, there has been cultural practices and things that have been said.
People that say it. It's not the church as a whole.
Well, and it's specific for a time. Like, let's just acknowledge that culture changes as generation passes.
Exactly.
And we are changing church. Like, it's literally the role of prophet. So I'm not gonna also say like it's never been a thing. There could very well, I know that there are quotes out there of like church leaders saying things about women like being in the home.
Yeah.
But let's just let old cultural practices be in the past.
And like for her to give up her education, that was her vice. Like that's what she wanted to do. She didn't not know what she was doing. Mm-hmm. And I think that they even say it right here that in our first few years of marriage was really hard. We sacrificed a lot, she says, but we did have this vision, this dream, and meaning it was their dream, not his dream. Then in this quote, it keeps going and says, Daniel interrupts, we still do. What kind of sacrifices, I ask her. Well, I gave up dance, which was hard. You gave up a piece of yourself, and Daniel gave up his career ambitions. So it's not like they didn't sacrifice as a couple, and I think that the reporter really tried hard to make it seem as though the only person that sacrificed was Hannah.
Yeah.
Okay, here's this quote. They have a cleaner but no child care. Neelman does all the food shopping, kids in tow, and cooks from scratch. They don't do ready meals, despite the more traditional aspects of their relationship. Oh, I guess this isn't the quote, but we can still read it.
Yeah, keep going.
Daniel is a hands-on father, taking the kids out to the farm and doing all the laundry. The children appeared to look after each other quite well, too. There are so many that they seem to have become an almost self-sustaining entity. Still, Daniel says, Neelman sometimes gets so ill from exhaustion that she can't get out of bed for a week. So honestly, that is a quote to kind of talk about because that's something that people have also had things to say about.
I know. That is like wild. Like I have so many questions about that quote that
I think that it might have been taken out of context. Like I think maybe she can't get out of bed for a week. Like it's hard for her to get out of bed, but she still gets out of bed. It might be that situation. I think if this is true, I don't think that Daniel would want ill will for his wife, who is a mother to 8. Mm-hmm. I don't think that he would put her in that harm's way, but I guess we don't know.
I know. We don't know. And listen, I mean, I've had ups and downs. Like there's moments where like I'm going through it for a week. I'm not getting everything done that I need to.
I don't think that. I think they could have elaborated and gotten more clarity, which I think a lot of these things they could have.
No, and the reason why she didn't is because if she asked for more clarity, it wouldn't go with her agenda. But I also wanted to say on that quote that you were just talking about, it says that David does the laundry.
I know.
Are you kidding me?
They talked about that on the toast as well.
Oh, they did? I'm like, that is my least favorite chore. I hate laundry. So if I would totally sign up so fast. I'd be like, Tanner, I will do all of the cooking in the kitchen. If you do all the laundry, I would sign up for that so fast.
I grew up with a dad. Shout out to my dad because he seriously is like the housewife, but he's not. He also works. But my whole life, all our uniforms ironed from him, did all the laundering, did all the cooking, did all the housework, all the cleaning. And my mom, she did a lot as well. But majority of like housework was done by my dad. And now my husband, he does all the cooking. He actually does all the laundry as well. Like, yeah.
Because that's what you knew growing up and you're like, you're ready to sign up for this.
And that's like, you know what? Like, yeah, I'm the Daniel. There we go.
You're horrible. Your poor husband.
I'm an oppressor.
Okay, what's your husband's name again?
Mark.
We all need to pray for Mark.
Pray for Mark.
He's going through it.
He's oppressed.
I'm dead. Oh, man. But, okay, yeah. You found the...
I found the quote. Daniel...
this just like exemplifies the bias that she puts on this whole
Exactly.
article.
Poor Daniel. Justice for Daniel. Daniel wanted to live in the great western wilds, so they did. He wanted to farm, so they do. He likes date nights once a week, so they go. They have a babysitter on those evenings. He didn't want nannies in the house, so there aren't any. The only space earmarked to be Neelman's own, a small barn, which he wanted to convert into a ballet studio, ended up becoming the kids' schoolroom. Oh my gosh. I can't. First of all, I didn't know she was being forced to go on dates. Like,
I know what. That
somebody
one
save
kills
her.
me.
Like, oh no. Like,
she gets away from the kids once a week.
was there not a quote prior that they wanted this farm together?
Yeah.
Was it not quoted prior that they wanted this dream and this job together?
Also,
No.
where's the quote where he said, I do not want nannies in the house?
And you know what?
Show me the quote.
I guarantee you if she really wanted a nanny, he would get her a nanny. But that's not what they signed up for together.
Well, and I'm not going to lie, as a mother, okay, I feel like my husband is very supportive of us getting help and getting a nanny. And it's my guilt that is the hardest part of getting help.
That and then
It's on the mom.
that's
It's
a
not
whole nother thing we can get into, the mom guilt of it all.
totally. You guys are making her feel so much worse.
I can't.
Like, I don't know. It just like, he doesn't want a nanny. No, I promise you that she is making that decision for her children.
And if they got a nanny, I guarantee you there would be comments saying, you have 8 children. Why did you even have 8 kids if you couldn't take care of them?
That is so true.
Like, oh my gosh. Another Kim Kardashian thing. People are harping her always for having so much help. Well, that's her vice.
No,
like,
there's no right way to do it. You can't make everyone
yeah,
happy.
I don't understand.
And you know what? I know that Hannah knows this, and I don't think Hannah is that bothered by this article. Like, I'm sure she's like, okay, that sucks.
She's totally not. She posted the next day, like, with her family out, like, going out and stuff. And,
Oh,
like,
she did? I didn't know she'd posted.
like, not, like, about this stupid wench of an article.
No, and
but
I don't think she should.
it was just her going out, like, having fun with her kids, posted with her husband.
No, she knows what's going on in her home. She knows how she feels about her life.
Like,
she doesn't care what other people
You
are
think
saying.
they would be posting happy photos together? If this article came out and it was about me and this reporter was just spitting straight facts, she was actually exposing me, exposing my family, exposing my husband for what it really was, why would I be posting with my husband? I would stop social media for like 2 weeks probably because I'm so
That's so
embarrassed.
true.
Like,
Yeah.
that's what a lot of, I feel like, people that are on social media do in general when something comes out about them and it has an inkling of truth to it. Usually they're not going to go out and like post like regular. They're going to take time for themselves because that is something that hurt them and something that they didn't want out in the public. And so if it was true, I don't think she would just go back to normal life.
Yeah.
Especially when she thought that this was just a regular day in the life. She literally, in the article, it says Hannah came out with wet hair, just looking beautiful. Like, she wasn't prepping for this as if like
They weren't staging anything.
it wasn't a Vogue magazine spread. She wasn't staging it. Her kids were screaming at her, "Let's go to ballet!" Like,
yes, and they're like upset. The writer's upset.
and
that-
Daniel was taking calls. Like, they were doing a normal day in the life. Do you think
Yeah.
a normal day in the life? Obviously, if he was such an oppressor, like, do you think there would be yelling or like stuff like that, or like yelling at the kids or ill will against the wife? Like, there would be signs of that, and I don't think that there was. That's why this reporter wanted to harp on the narrative that she wanted.
Yep.
I guess I don't understand why it's so hard to honor motherhood these days.
Well, and it's sad because I don't want like younger girls to see that and then be like, oh no, is motherhood horrible? Or like women who are having children, like, are they miserable? I've seen so many clips of Hannah where people are like taking her face and like zooming in and they're like, oh my gosh, she's zoned out. Oh my gosh, she's so tired. Like, I was with
Clip a thing of my face in this
literally any
interview.
minute
I'll
of
be
the
like,
day.
like,
But I was
seriously.
with like so many of my mom friends last night and we were talking about this article and like the clips that we've seen, and we were like, we probably look like that 95% of the day, yet we're very happy with the life that we're living. Like,
and they're taking photos of like Hannah and Daniel together saying like, It's so sad. Look at how she wraps her arms around him, and he's just like one arm, like doesn't look like he wants to be there. First of all,
Kill me.
look at the photos I just posted on my Instagram of announcing the baby. My husband's like this. Like he did not want to be there. I don't think any husband wants to take photos.
Yeah.
It's so crazy to me how people just like have been misconstruing everything. Yeah.
So, you guys, we're done making assumptions about people's life. Like,
We're done.
I would say, like, that's the hardest part for me of putting myself out there is, like, people will make assumptions about you, and they're so off base, off of the littlest thing. And this woman, she made so many freaking assumptions and assuming the worst. That's where it rubs me wrong, okay? Let's assume the best.
Like the epidural thing. Like saying Daniel walks out of the room and she lowers her voice.
Yeah, right.
And saying, I got an epidural. Like, are you kidding? I guarantee you when they got that bill that the epidural was on there and Daniel found out some way or another.
I'm guarantee you he knew when it was happening. When she was like, hey, the baby is measuring huge. I'm going to get an epidural.
That's what I'm talking about. This like narrative, like these descriptions and like things that this reporter has put in, like she lowers her voice. Like she wants you to feel this oppressiveness.
Yeah.
It's not like something that's already there. Like she's creating it for the readers.
Yeah. So we all need to take some media literacy classes because
and not believe everything. It's so crazy.
Guys, we live in a world where journalism is spun. Like I literally barely believe anything that comes out nowadays.
Let her freaking live her life. If she is being oppressed, I promise you her sweet family and her friends around her, something will get to her if she really is being oppressed.
Yeah, she's surrounded by so many people. And I don't know her personally, but I have met her. I went to a rodeo and she was there.
She's gorgeous.
Gorgeous and so nice. And she was having a good time, you guys.
Yeah.
We were at the rodeo. They were selling some of their merch and stuff. Their kids were there. They were running around.
So cute.
And I went during the rodeo, like when stuff was going on, I went back there because I'm like, no one's going to be there. I could probably talk to her. And I talked to her for a little bit. And I'm like, you're great. You're wonderful. Her husband came up too. He was there too.
No.
Came up and I was just like,
they
guys
seem so sweet.
No, like they are sweet, genuine, and from that little interaction I had, I would say that she is a happy person.
I think she's happy. I think she'll go to Greece. Like, I think you will all be okay. But yeah, I think that people need to stop jumping ships. I thought this girl was a villain. Like, I thought she was making false like achievements for women, and now she's an oppressed little victim.
You said them. She went from a villain to the victim within 6 months.
Yeah,
because the internet is disgusting.
In cancel culture, we cancel somebody and then a few months later, like, we're praising them. And I think that one, there shouldn't be a cancel culture. I think people should just like live their lives. But two, like, it's so none of your business, I think.
Well, it's like I can get like, listen, if there's a rightful cause, if someone's 100%. Doing something really bad, okay, whatever, get behind that cause.
100%.
There is nothing bad going on here. They are the most wholesome, wonderful, good family. You're going to get upset that they choose to be more traditional, that they choose to be at home, that she chooses to have more children.
Yeah.
It's just please go find a better cause.
I think that it's just sad that this woman was let into their home with their children and her husband, and
yeah,
I just can't believe that like this is what was laid out.
What Hannah needs is she needs a better publicist or like a PR agent.
I don't even know she has one.
Well, with like 9 million followers, like I would think she would have to. But you're right. Maybe she didn't have one and they took this on their own. Honey, get one. Get yourself one.
They had to have taken this on their own. There's no way.
No, I'm like,
it's like, did they not vet this
company?
Reporter?
They have to have a PR team.
Like, it's
not a team.
Crazy.
I would think they would have to have like at least a PR girl.
Yeah.
If you need one, call me up. Graduated BYU for PR.
Call Lauren up, everybody.
Because this is a nightmare, and
it's a nightmare.
We could have avoided this big time.
We stand with Ballerina.
Get on Deseret News next time, okay?
Screw the times. Screw the times. I'm so sick of this. It's crazy. I think, well, I hope she's okay. Like, I hope this really didn't put a damper in her marriage or her kids.
Yeah.
And I think that the word perfect was splashed across the whole article. Like, she's not perfect. Yeah. She's not a perfect person, I'm sure. She has her faults. But you're the one that's setting these standards for her. Like, and the whole ballerina thing, like, everyone on TikTok saying he stripped that of her. All she wanted to do was be a ballerina. That's all she wanted to do. She wouldn't have had 8 kids. She wouldn't have married Daniel. She wouldn't be on this farm.
Yeah.
She's not a silly girl. She has a good head on her shoulders. It's just sad.
Literally, look what she's grown. Look what she's done. It's incredible.
It's incredible.
She has every reason to be proud of the life that she has.
Incredible. And like, did you see that people are like, it's so sad they call it Ballerina Farm?
Yeah, instead of Ballerina's Farm. They're like popping out ballerinas, milking the ballerinas.
They're like, he's just reminding her of what he stripped her of. Oh, please.
Right. You know she came up with that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And it's cute. Like, let her live, everybody.
And she's always dancing and
yeah, she's a doll. It's crazy. Justice for Daniel. Justice for Ballerini. All the things.
And go get your education and go pursue your careers. We support you fully in the church.
And stop tearing down women if you're a woman that supports women.
Yeah. Amen.
Amen.
Well, you guys, thanks for joining us on today's episode. We can discuss more, and you can share your thoughts and opinions on the article on Instagram. That's where we can discuss more. So head over there if you want to chat. Bye.